today. Now let's start with the rupiah, which has seen a substantial drop in recent weeks. Now it's nearly 16,000 per US dollar. Can you tell us some of the factors that is affecting this result today?
Hello, thank you for inviting me. So, if we look at on the current situations, I think this is more reflecting about the growing uncertainty, particularly coming from the U.S. Economy. So, if we look at on the last week, the U.S. Stock markets were closed lower, and actually in the context of the currency, not only Indonesian rupiah that is weakening, major currencies in emerging markets are also weakening. So we are not alone in this case, but this is, I think, more reflecting about the current situations about market players are waiting about the Fed next action, particularly Fed meeting in the next weeks.
And not only the currency, but the IDX also saw a substantial drops today. And for that, regarding that, what were the factors behind this?
Well, I think regarding about the Indonesia stock exchange, this is related as well about in strategy. Basically, they are taking profit. Like in the couple weeks, we know that the Indonesian stock exchange really upward. So some of the stories about some of the investors are taking profit. So that's why they sell the stocks. Another one, I think they anticipate about the weakening of the third quarter's reports that some of major investors think that we will perform well, like not better compared to the second quarter in this year, Hans. So I think
Mhm.
those two factors that contribute the weakening of the current stock exchange.
Okay, but in your opinion, what can we do, or what can the government do, or in this case, Bank of Indonesia could do to actually tackle this concerning situation?
Well, I think from the central bank point of view, maintaining like stable rupiah will be their major priority. But of course, they are not using the like raising interest rate, given that they did raising the interest rate last week. So what they do, I think they will intervene the market. So they will keep the currency, perhaps below the 16,000 rupiah. But from the other side, for instance, like a Ministry of Finance, I think they are going to, like spend, because we know that, typically in the fourth quarter they will spend very heavily. But if we compare the growth of the government spending, the fourth quarter, I think is less compared to the fourth quarter last year. So pretty much like the policy space are relatively tight. Central bank perhaps are doing more the interventions in the market, currency market. Meanwhile, on the fiscal side, I think this is really critical to really like spend by the end of this year.
But Mr. Wicaksono, this whole concerning thing certainly affecting the behavior of of investors and also people in the trade market, as well as the whole country in this case. But what are your forecasts for the rest of the week in Indonesian market, especially for the stock market and also for the currency, in this case rupiah? And also, what impact will the Israel-Hamas war would have, and what other major factors should we look out for?
So I think for the fourth quarter of this year or the remaining months, yeah. So the engine of growth will be on the government spending side. So basically, the government will increase spending. So we can expect that consumer sector might benefiting from this increase in the government spending, and also infrastructure sector. The second engine that will be important is the consumer spending itself. So
Mm-hmm.
we know that the consumer or spending account for more than 50% of our GDP. Now, based on our data on the Mandiri Spending Index, we find that the consumer spending is quite resilient, although in the third quarter we might expect that slowing down on the consumer spending, but we expect on the fourth quarter the spending will increase again, given that typically the vacation in the end of the year. So I think that's the story. Now regarding the conflict, if we look at on the previous conflicts between Israel and Hamas, the impact is quite limited. But now the uncertainty, I think, surround whether the middle power in the region will involve in the conflict. For instance, like Iran or Saudi Arabia. So if these two middle power involve, in this proxy war, then it might have some impacts on the oil price. But we can see here, the signal from the U.S., to keep away to distancing, the potential of the regional powers to be involved, to engage in the conflict. I think that's the story, Hans.
All right, the head of Mandiri Institute, Mr. Teguh Wicaksono, thank you so much for sharing your insight with us today. And let's just hope that it will get
You're
better
welcome.
from this
My
time
pleasure.
on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.